financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Hi, welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. With us today, Brian Small, my co-host, David Einstein, and my co-host. Good morning.
Good morning.
Again, I've already said good morning to you, but good morning.
Good morning.
And we have a guest with us again, returning, Pat Simasko. Pat, it is very good to have you back in the show.
Thank you for having me.
Pat,
I can talk today.
Yeah, Pat's got his voice back. We invited him back because he couldn't talk last time. I think someone called in and sent you a home remedy, didn't
It was
someone?
the nicest lady. She called and left me a 5-minute voicemail on how to cure my laryngitis.
Was it hot tea and honey, or what
It
was
was, yeah, it worked too.
We got 17 emails. They thought it was your best segment
It was
ever.
awesome. My wife loved that whole weekend.
Yeah, in fact, she sent us an email, too. She said, I've
Keep
never
it
heard
going.
Pat so lucid before.
Right.
But Pat's going to be with us as a regular on the show, and we're going to move in and talk about estate and elder law issues. And as part of that process, I want to welcome you to being a regular on the show and award you
thank
with
you.
your own outline book.
My name's spelled right, correct? Thank you very much.
I've been
appreciate
working
it.
on that because I've spelled your name wrong a lot of times.
Thank you.
It's S-I... where do
S-I-M-A-S-K-O.
It's the S-E that people get wrong, right?
Or the A at the end. They think it's Smasky. It's S-I-M-A-S-K-O.
If I spell it wrong, it's with an E rather
Yeah.
than an I at the beginning. All right, so realism of the segment for today, to set kind of the foundation of where we're going to go in the next 4 shows, is what do I do now? Now, you guys are looking at me, and I understand that because I'm not filling it in yet, but I will fill it in. It's focused on me because I turned 60 in June. And all of a sudden, I turned 60, and I kind of said to myself, what I said to myself was, wow, unbelievable, I'm 60. And it causes pause to start thinking about where you've been, where you are, and even more so, where you're going.
And how fast it goes. I just turned 50 on Wednesday, 2 days ago.
All right. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does go fast.
Yeah, but when you say it causes pause, it actually causes us, who are substantially younger than you, to sit down and say, uh-oh, are we already too late in the game for some of the planning?
Or is that why you're assuming that I'm too late?
Or is there time to get it right?
You're 100% right, though. And the earlier you pause and think about it, the better. What I've found, is, even when I have a group of friends that we meet for dinner on Tuesday night, and unfortunately, none of them are 60. So I'm like the padre now of the group because I'm 2 to 5 years older than they are. But when you talk to them, when you're 58, you don't even think about 60. 60 is like a milestone.
What it is, though, is at this point, what you're talking about, though, and when you're thinking about these things, bringing it to your focus, is a lot of people's parents are still living, are reaching the point where they are considered elder, and they are needing Medicare and all the issues that come up. And now you start to focus as the child when you should be focusing both as the child and as the person who's going to be going through it at the same time.
Yeah, what it comes down at the end is, and you still have to also focus on it as the parent, because if you're 60, your kids are now crossing the road towards getting married and moving on. And have you set them up in the right direction as best you can? Is there anything else you want to do that way? So let's just kind of
somehow I want to start singing the Circle of Life.
What are you
from
thinking
The Lion King?
Yeah, what are you thinking about when you're in your 40s? What are you guys thinking about? I looked at it and said you got kids going from high school to college. You've got some. These are the things that I hear you guys in your 40s talking about. You got summer camp bills. You got tuition payments. You got college costs that are right on top of you. I don't hear you talking about retirement all that much.
That's the problem. You're not talking. You're spending money for iPads and Google and
No,
credit card
I
bills.
think that's a true statement that we want to fulfill a lot of the immediate gratification needs through spending on cool stuff. But I think, at least from my perspective, I think today's generation of 40-year-olds is more focused on making sure that they have enough money to retire than 20 years ago's generation of 40-year-olds.
You think
I don't.
that's true?
I don't know. I think
don't
that's
see
true
that.
about you. I think that's true actually about you too, David.
Well, I think.
But I don't
an
think. I don't
interesting
think it was true about me.
I think an interesting statistic would be to what extent, if you looked at the numbers, what percent were funding 401ks, funding IRAs 40, 50 years ago compared to what extent they're funding today, and what that funding will do as far as purchasing power.
That's a big deal because the younger generation, they see their parents with full-time pensions and fully funded 401k plans, and for the 40-year-olds, we're not going to have that. So they have to starting a lot earlier, a lot younger for planning for those retirement now, because it's going to be too late when you start when you're 50 or 55 or 60.
Absolutely. I heard it. I don't have the story with me, but I heard it about 2 months ago. I remember reading it, and it said the difference between the level of funding to 401ks now that the economy is better versus what was going on in 2009 and 10 when the employers all cut out even their matching contributions. Nothing was being contributed at the height of the recession. As the rebound has occurred, contributions are back up. Now, I don't know what the percentage of the population and how that spreads out on demographics age group wise, but it says even in that context, it's vulnerable to the economic conditions that you're looking at.
absolutely.
But it's also a double-edged sword. Those savings are up, which means that consumer spending is down, which has its own
Which has a
negative
downward
impact.
impact on the economy. The economy wants you to charge it, baby. The more you charge, the more consumer spending, the more job growth, and the more money the big banks make, and everybody's happy until they all of a sudden send you a notice saying, hey, we're trimming your credit back to $1 more than you owe.
And-
Sorry, Charlie.
And that's where that if the 40-year-olds would actually start looking at that and plan just a little bit, they got to pay themselves for retirement. Just a little bit. Don't put it all on the credit card. Don't buy everything. Save a little bit towards retirement, and that will build up over the 20,
Well, that goes
30
towards my whole concepts of budget management and making sure that when you're spending, you're getting the most amount of satisfaction out of your spending, eliminating wasteful spending that you can't remember that you spent yesterday.
Even before you get to budget, go back to our financial crisis management concept, is if you're sitting and carrying too much debt, if you got $50,000 of credit card debt, you're paying 20% interest, you're paying $10,000 a year in interest, and you have to make $14,000 in order to net income $10,000 to pay the interest. That $14,000 is not going into your retirement. It's not going into savings. It's going to the credit card companies for juice, interest. You'll never see it. You got to get rid of it.
And you know, one of the things that
The first thing to saving is getting rid of needless, excessive interest rate debt.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
You like your job. What you don't like is the way your boss has been treating you. He's making comments about how you look instead of your work, and he's been touching you inappropriately. If you complain, is he allowed to fire you? Absolutely not. Unwelcome sexual comments, advances, and contact are illegal in the workplace. Make him pay. Gold Star Law is here to help you through your employment law problem, whatever it is.
Gold Star Law, protecting employees' rights. Call 1-800-WAGES-10 for a free consultation today.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Fav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Every family has the family meeting, and we all know what that means. Dad's got dementia. What are we going to do? What's the care plan that the family has in place? Usually they don't, or they struggle with a care plan. When you go home tonight and you talk to your tax person and you talk to your financial person, say, what's the plan that you have in place? And as soon as they don't give you an answer, give me a call, because I can do it for you.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
So we're talking about, what do I do now? I've reached 60. And we were talking about the 40s. If you're 50, Pat, you said you're 50. Here's how I see it. When you're 50, your kids are going from college to graduating. Weddings are starting to kick in gear with costs that are attached to those. Finally, you see the horizon that the outgoing costs may slow down and you might have an opportunity to save some money. But now, when you're in your 50s, not when you're just 50, but say you get to 55, 56, you've crossed the line at the office. You're now on the old line. You're on the side of old, not young. Yeah. Well, the problem is if you're self-employed, like we're lawyers, we're working for ourselves. That's okay.
Do you purchase? Where do you go? Wait, where do you go to the grocery store?
This could be a long discussion. I go to Hiller's.
Where do you buy your
I go
produce?
to Plum, and I
Where
go
do you
to
buy
Whole
your,
Foods.
Where do you buy your produce?
Hiller's usually.
Now, do you debate between the green bananas and the yellow bananas?
No.
Okay, just wondered.
Okay. I'm more interested.
Not enough time left?
Because I don't buy bananas, so I don't have to really worry about that.
I just wondered.
I buy a head of lettuce.
I think you should
buy
get the ones that
I buy
are-
a head of lettuce. I buy a cucumber, and that takes care of my
you
vegetables.
should look at the ones that
purchases.
are, still a little bit green.
Oh, okay. Thanks. You want to explain that to me? No,
He
you
says-
don't want to. You want to explain that on radio
I'll
and TV
explain it.
to the
He's
national
saying,
audience?
what he's saying is that at your age, you still have some time left to let the banana ripen before you eat it.
Oh, good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's good to know.
But not a whole heck of a
But
lot.
not
I'll
a
tell
whole
you.
heck of a lot.
I was talking about 50s, not 60s, just for the record. But anyway, what I'm saying is when you're in 50s, if you're working in a big company, you've got to worry about, are they going to push me out? That's also weighing
Well,
on your
hold on.
mind.
A lot of companies, depending on where you're at, they have mandatory retirement at certain ages.
I think that's starting to wane, but this is where the worst part is, and we saw this in the recession. And I think it's completely the wrong solution that business is missing out on talent. But when the 50-year-olds get laid off and they have high-paying jobs and they go back in the job market, they go to interview, they're too old for the jobs. The companies don't want them. That's what a big complaint is.
There's a skill set match.
And-
They hear the overqualified for the position.
Yeah, but and then that's where I think that the big business makes a mistake. I would rather have someone who is in their 50s, knows their industry, is mature, has gone through the ups and downs, knows how to get something done in 10 minutes instead of 7 hours. And you find experience gets you there, and I think our marketplace ignores that a lot. I think our marketplace always wants the ute.
One thing though that brings back home though is that if you're going to be moving around and your job is vulnerable, you have to start creating these plans for yourself that are portable that you can take with you from job to job.
Absolutely.
And the earlier you start, the better plan it is.
So then you hit 60. Okay, you hit 60 and you're saying, where do I go? Where did the time go? Now you're worried about your mom and your dad if they're alive. They're pushing their 90s. You have to deal with their care issues. They're going to have the prospect of nursing home needs. They're going to have, assisted living issues, independent living. You have to deal with that issue. You have to say to yourself, how long am I going to be able to work? I'm 60. Am I going to be working to 85 if I want to? Will I be able to? How long do I want to work? How am I going to live And will I have the necessary money to fund a retirement? And is that age, am I going to stop working at around 80 and am I going to need to fund it to 90? Or do I need to fund it to 105? How long am I going to live? These are the questions that we need to start answering as we move on. And when you get to 60, man, you better start answering them fast. Your point, Brian, is right. You should be answering them and thinking about them when you're in your 40s and in your 50s because you need to take action. But you really need to focus it, and this is what I want to do over the next several segments. And the issues that you're asking are, let's talk about money first. Am I preserving enough future income, which by definition means you have to save it. It either has to go into retirement or into savings after tax. How much Social Security am I going to get? What are the Social Security rules? I don't even know them. I need to know them. When do I take it? What are my options? What's this RMB stuff?
D.
Right.
D
required
is in dummy.
Yeah, D is in dum-dum. Required minimum distributions on IRAs and 401ks. What tax bracket am I really going to be in at 75 and 80? Is all this deferral of the income and then paying the tax when I'm 75, 80, is it really the good thing to do? Or is it going to turn out and burn me at the end anyway because I'm going to be paying all these taxes and I'm not going to have any money?
Or your kids inherit and they take it out at their tax rate.
Yeah. What other options do I have? And then what estate plan issues need to be addressed? What if what if I have assets in my children? Am I going to leave it to my children and then they get divorced? Is it going to my assets going to go to the divorced spouse? Is it going to go to my children's creditors rather than to my children? What do I need to protect my interests? What documents do I need? We're going to get into that as well.
As well as, what have I already signed that I have no idea what it says?
People never read what
Who are
they
the
sign.
beneficiaries that I've listed on my 401k? Who are the beneficiaries that I have on my pension? Do I have a pension that will continue after I die? Do I have a pension that won't continue after I die? What is my spouse going to get? What are my children going to get? What elections do they have? It's all part of the mix.
Medicare. When do I apply for Medicare? What do I do for prescription coverage? What do I do for supplemental Blue Cross coverage? What do I need to do? There are so many issues that come into play when you start crossing at that 65, 66 mark. And there's and you know what? You know what I think? There's too much information.
Yeah.
There's too much information that I don't trust.
You know what would be
When should I take my Social Security? Should I take it at 62? Should I take it at 65? Should I take it at 66? Should I wait until I'm 71? What are the benefits? What are non-benefits? What about all the other elections where I can defer my Social Security and things like that? There's so much stuff.
Now, let me give you my realism right on that. And you know what? I don't trust everybody. I don't trust. There's so much information out there. I don't trust everybody on these decisions when it comes to me. So you know what I've decided? What we're going to do is we're going to find out all the right answers here over the course of the next few weeks because I'm going to vet it and I'm going to research it because I want to know this information for me and I don't want to just rely on what some guy says who's sending me a mailer to come and have a free dinner and have a seminar. I want to know
Dinner
the
might be
real
good, though.
answers. I want to know what's in my interest.
And here's an interesting thought before the break. How many 45-year-olds know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid?
We'll be back after the break.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Going from hourly to salary seemed like a good career move, but now you're working 60 hours a week instead of 40, and you aren't getting paid any of that extra time. You're stuck, right? Wrong. You can be on salary and still be entitled to overtime. If you've been wrongly denied such pay, you may be entitled to that and more. Gold Star Law is here to help you through your employment law problem, whatever it is.
Gold Star Law, protecting employees' rights. Call 1-800-WAGES-10 for a free consultation today.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
Every family has the family meeting, and we all know what that means. Dad's got dementia. What are we going to do? What's the care plan that the family has in place? Usually they don't, or they struggle with a care plan. When you go home tonight and you talk to your tax person and you talk to your financial person, say, what's the plan that you have in place? And as soon as they don't give you an answer, give me a call, because I can do it for you.
We're back with Law and Reality. On the break, we were talking about temperament in the office, and David reminded me of a story that he got mad.
I wasn't mad. I was just like,
no, I
excited.
think you were mad about something. You pounded
Passionate.
the wall, which we share, and then my diploma fell off the wall, crashed onto the credenza, and the glass broke. And then Brian commented, I still haven't replaced the glass. The answer is because I don't like redoing things. And I did that glass 28 years ago, and I don't really think I should have to redo it. I'm waiting for David to fix it.
Like your bar stools.
Yes.
it was probably leaded glass back then.
All right, couple announcements. Reg X report. If you're facing foreclosure, we have a free report called Reg X, How to Save Your Home, The Hidden Secrets. Free copy of it available. All you have to do is go online, go to regxhomesaver.com. You pop in your email address, and then we email the report to you as a PDF. You don't even have to download anything. It's a good report. It shows what your remedies are and what your options are. You have options. The worst thing that you can do in any type of a financial problem is ignore it. Take positive action. We have great opportunities to get loan modifications, short sale homes, avoid foreclosure, but you need to get the action done before the house goes to sale. Then it's too late. So that's available at regxhomesaver.com. I want to thank our sponsors, Gold Star Law, Samasco Law, Trips Auto Shop and Collision Shop, and U.S. Staffing. Events coming up. We have 2 seminars coming up. October 8th, called Putting Cash in the Bank. This is to me the essence of what we've been talking about as the first step in saving money, is that if you're sitting on too much debt, you need to figure out the smartest, cleverest, most effective way of getting rid of it. Not because you're broke, because you need to be putting in every available dollar you have into retirement and savings, so when you get to 80, you've got something. And if you're sitting at, I don't care if you're making $200,000 a year. If your spending is so out of control that you've got $50,000 of credit card debt, you need help to get rid of that credit card debt so that the $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month you're sending to the credit card industry starts going into your 401k. That's smart business. You want to sign up for that seminar? Go to our websites, thavgross.com or lawandreality.com. You can sign up for that. And then, Pat, you and I are doing a seminar together on October 27th called Advice for Seniors, Preserving Assets as Age and Elder Issues Arise. And we're going to be talking about the issues that we're going to be talking about in this show over the next couple of weeks. How you deal with the potential for Medicaid. What about if your parents are a vet or you're a vet and you need aid and attendant care? There's government benefits out there that people don't know about. There's some big changes in the Medicaid rules, correct? I know that you've been telling me about that, and we're going to get into it more in the weeks to come. We're going to cover those things in the seminar. You want to sign up for that? The same thing. Go to thavgross.com or lawandreality.com. Click on the link to the Elder Law Seminar. That's going to be on Wednesday, October 22nd from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Both of the seminars are at our offices. And, of course, you can always sign up by calling 888-235-HELP. If you call on the weekend, you leave a message, then we call you back and confirm the reservation on Monday. All right, back to what we're talking about. Oh, my God, what do I do now? I want to focus on Social Security. We only have a couple minutes left in this segment, and then we'll carry it over to the next segment. Social Security, in fact, before we do Social Security, we'll start that in the next segment. David, you asked a big question at the break. How many people in their 40s know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid? Brian, what was your comment?
My response was, I'm supposed to know, but I really don't know the details, and I know that one one deals with nursing home issues and one deals with insurance, and that's about all I really know.
They're as related as green is to black. They're as related as apples are to steak. They have nothing to do with each
They
other.
just say med.
But
is
they
the
say
first part
med,
of-
so people get them confused. Medicare is your health insurance that you get when you turn 65, that you've earned as a citizen. You get Medicare. It's nationally funded health insurance. It's not as good as the health insurance you have sometimes before you're 65, but it doesn't cost you anything other than about $96 a month. And that's health insurance. Medicaid is state-funded assistance. If you're going into a nursing home and you have no assets, the state will cover and make up the shortfall so that you're not put out on the street. And there's other elements of Medicaid that Pat's familiar with
Right.
that protect you.
So Pat, real quickly, Kim had a great point. I have really good insurance, and all of a sudden, I qualify for Medicare. What happens? Does one trump the other?
Yeah, what happens if people think I have health insurance or Medicare, it's going to pay for nursing home care? It doesn't. With Medicare or your Blue Cross supplement policy, it only will pay up to 100 days of nursing home care if you're receiving skilled care rehab. Short of that, it doesn't cover the custodial, the babysitting, the watching.
Well,
It
do I
doesn't
have
pay
to
for
take
at-home
Medicare,
care.
or can I just continue on with my policy?
No, you want to take Medicare because it is a lot less expensive than a supplemental.
And you can buy supplemental
then
coverage.
you buy the supplemental coverage, yeah.
which
you-
allows you to maintain the same level of health care coverage that you currently have.
You could potentially improve your benefits, but you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Medicare is good coverage.
See,
All of your doctors accept Medicare.
That's the thing that you have to watch out for with deciding to collect Social Security at 62, if you're going to, because you don't get Medicare until you're 65. So if you're going to retire early, you have to figure out how to make up that health insurance gap between 62
Well,
and
I think
65.
as long as it doesn't
plus you're
get
getting 75% of your benefit.
Oh,
as
it's a
long as it
huge
doesn't get
deduction.
repealed, the Affordable Health Care Act certainly acts as a
But you got to pay
a
for
bridge.
it. But you got to pay for it.
Yes, but at least it's affordable now.
Yeah, well, what Pat's saying is, though you're 62, you don't have Medicare. You have to pay. You're getting less Social Security benefit, and you still have to pay for
Yeah.
your health insurance through Obamacare.
So that's the question that when you're looking at whether you're going to retire or not, is not only your health insurance costs and your Social Security reduction, but how are you going to bridge that gap between when those two come together?
Our next segment, what we're going to talk about, and we're going to start the next segment off with Social Security benefits. How do you become eligible? When are you eligible? How much can you collect? Should you wait or not wait from the standpoint of 62 to 66? These are issues that seem simple, but people really need to have the right answers. We'll be back with the next segment of the Law and Reality.